What's going on, guys? Ben here, Enos Tech, and today we're taking a look at the SteelSeries APEX M800 customizable mechanical keyboard. Now, according to the box, this has endless customizations. It of course has a per key RGB backlighting, and it is said to be the world's fastest mechanical keyboard with some newly designed switches that we will go ahead and take a bit closer look at those in the written part of the review itself, as it's a bit easier for me to explain it there and get pictures and all that fun stuff. Now, one of the great things about the SteelSeries M800 is the fact that it comes with a bit of software, so you can go ahead and customize things. I know it's probably a bit hard to see, but I've got the software running here in the background on my second screen here. Again, I'll take a few pictures of that and explain that a bit more as well in the written review. What I want to do today is just talk about this keyboard. I mean, I've been using it for about 2-3 weeks now. It's great. I will say it does take quite a bit of getting used to if you're used to a more normal mechanical keyboard. Part of this is to do with the low profile keys. Now, they're not quite laptop like low profile keys, but they're definitely not standard keys. They're somewhere in the middle, but once you get used to typing on it, it's a great experience. Typing is fluid. It's not as noisy as your standard cherry or kale keys or any of the other ones that are out there. Is definitely nice and quiet, and when you get used to it, typing on it, it seems great, but it does take a few days to get used to those low profile keys. So again, that's not really a downside or anything. It's just something to be wary about, know about it, because when you first get it, expect some typos and stuff. It took me a while. For the first couple days, I had to look at the keyboard and kind of peck while I was getting used to the feel of things. But all that aside, it's a great keyboard. I've been, like I said, been using it 2-3 weeks now. I absolutely do love it. It's definitely great for typing on, gaming on, and all that. It comes with some fun customization options. There's some already pre-set up in the SteelSeries software that we're going to go ahead and take a look at. So yeah, why don't we do that? Take a bit closer look at the keyboard itself and some of the lighting profiles that you can set up through the software. Alright, first off, I just want to say I know my camera is not the best for showing lighting profiles on keyboards. I do apologize for that. Hopefully I'll be upgrading in the next couple months here. But getting on to it, as you can see, the keyboard, the standard setting, has a nice kind of like wave effect going through the colors here, which I know it's a bit hard to see, but it does kind of start waving on one side a little bit. Well, you have to kind of see it to explain. It kind of comes in from the sides and changes the colors. But anyways, as mentioned, there are quite a few options and templates already set up in the SteelSeries program. So you can go ahead and set up a 4-color breathe, which, as you can see there, it breathes between the colors pretty quickly. They have an American flag, which, as you can see, that's quite nice. I like that. That's real nice. We've got the Danish flag. There's a default active mode and a default idle mode, which those are another things I want to touch on. The active mode is quite nice. Obviously, we'll just do the default active mode here. And as you can see, it's default active. When you type on it, you can see the colors change, the keys change to a blue color, and they kind of fade to white and then back to the orangey color that they were. But the cool thing is the idle mode. So say active mode, obviously you're using the keyboard, you're typing on it, you've got all this happening here. Boom, that's awesome. But say you get up from your computer and you don't use it you're not using the keyboard for a minute or so, you can go ahead and the default idle mode will change to this, and it'll, as you can see, the color pattern's changing. And now, of course, as I type on it here, it's not doing anything, but if it was really set in idle mode on its own, like after the minute timer or whatnot, it would go back to the active mode and type normal. I think this is a really cool feature because obviously when you're using the keyboard, you may want something like a plain single color backlighting, or you may want the backlighting off, or a few different keys or whatnot. But then when you're not using it, you can set it up to scroll through the colors and do something a bit more pretty, a bit more colorful, a bit more fun. That way, if anybody's in the room or you want to show it off, boom, it'll show off the keyboard for you a bit better. That, when I first found out about that, I was quite impressed. I was like, "Ooh, what's this?" Because I used the keyboard for a couple of days before I even check out the software. It's just part of my testing thing. If I plug it in and it works, I leave the software for a couple of days because that's when things get crazy and sometimes you can mess stuff up, and I just prefer to check the keyboard out for its raw performance to begin with. Moving along, we have a disco mode, as you can see here, which is kind of cool. That looks nice. I mean, that's definitely one of the things, if you're on a show or you're trying to show off your build or your keyboard or whatnot, have that for your idle mode, and that'll definitely draw some attention in, as you would imagine. I mean, they've even got game profiles set up. This is the Dota 2 default active mode for whatever. We've of course got our FPS genre template. There's a Glock fade going on here. A horizontal wave, which is always fun. That's another one of those good ones that'll show off. You get them colors changing constantly like that, and it just grabs people's attention, doesn't it? We have an MMO profile here. There's a MOBA profile. Rainbow, which is pretty cool. That's another one. Rainbow Feline. There's a couple other ones. I mean, we've got a Warp Drive here, which is pretty cool. And then another interesting thing about this, say you get bored, you're uploading something to YouTube or downloading something, you want to kill a couple minutes. There's different configurations, and what these configurations do is they actually allow you to play games on the keyboard. Now, you didn't see it, but in the software, I just set this to play Snake. And while you can't see the number pad enter button, if you hit it, now you can see the snake going across the keyboard. Now, I'm not very good at this normally, and plus sitting here trying to talk makes it a bit more difficult. But as you can see, I am controlling this. I am playing Snake on my SteelSeries M800 keyboard. Now, this is awesome. I know it doesn't really affect the performance or anything, but as you can see, I die, it turns the whole Snake red. That's just one of those cool little features. You know, it's not like a big game changer to make you purchase the keyboard, but it's one of those things. It's definitely fun to show off. There is also a Minesweeper version here, as you can see. Oh, hold on, if I can get it set. There's mine. Well, there's also a Minesweeper game here and a Lights Out game, which is more on with the number pad over here. I haven't really looked into it. I'm guessing the object is to try to get all of the lights out on the number pad. I've tried it. I have yet to be able to do it. It's just not me. It's just something I'm not very good at. Alright, here, now you see, now we've got the Minesweeper set up as well. We can go out and, it looks like I've already lost. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. That was a loss, as you can see there. I'm not very good at it. Again, just another something fun to play around with, like I said. But you can also go ahead and, of course, set your own illuminations and key bindings, which is great. Lighting is always good. That concludes it for the little lighting demo of the SteelSeries APEX M800. So why don't we go ahead and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it. Alright, so there you have it. SteelSeries APEX M800. We've just gone through the lighting profiles. I gave you a quick little introduction on it. Now it's time for purely my thoughts on the keyboard. Again, as said, I've been using this for about 2 to 3 weeks so far, and I really do enjoy it. Again, I just want to make sure you're aware the low profile keys do take a bit of getting used to. They're totally fine, and that's all great, but they definitely take a bit of getting used to. SteelSeries make the claim that this is the world's fastest gaming, mechanical keyboard rather. While I can neither confirm nor deny this, I can say it's very smooth and fluent. And once you get typing on this, it's great to type on. I think while it does work equally good for gaming, I've really enjoyed my typing experience on this. Of course, I've typed tens of thousands, probably a couple 100,000 words on it, to be honest, through reviews and setting up websites and doing all kinds of stuff. I've used it for everything from pretty much like balancing checkbook type stuff to typing reviews, general searches, the internet, and all that type of stuff. It does have the media keys across the top of the keyboard, which is one thing I forgot to show you. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that as well. Another one of the features I found awesome is when you're going to use the media keys or the function key. As you'll see, the function keys is to the right of the Alt on the right side of the massive space bar. And one of the cool things is if you hit it, as you can see, it has now just highlighted even the Windows key and the F5 through 12 keys, as those are the keys that have functions you can use. Now, of course, if you hit the function Windows key, it'll lock the Windows thing so you don't bring up the start bar during game. And the F keys are for your simple lighting and media keys. You got play, forward, backwards, and volume, and all that fun stuff. And you can, of course, change the brightness of the lighting on the keyboard and whatnot. This is a really handy feature as it instantly highlights the keys that you can use with the function key. It makes searching for them a lot easier, especially at night, and for those that aren't very sure of where all the keys are, this is something that will definitely come in handy. So as you can see, that little function key, specific lighting does come in handy. I think that's a great feature. It comes as default on the keyboard, so there's no need to worry about it. When you hit the function key, hopefully most of the keys on the keyboard lights will go off, and it'll just be the keys that you can use that are illuminated. I have nothing but great things to say about this keyboard. I have not found any issues with it aside from the bit longer break-in period getting used to it, which is of course due to not only a different switch type but to the low profile keycaps. But again, that's not an issue. It just takes a while to get used to it. But yeah, I am very impressed with this. Another thing I was a bit weary about was the big space bar, as it is a bit wider. It's about twice as tall as a normal space bar. But again, it seems to work great. It makes things easier. I definitely like that these keys are much quieter than what I'm used to. Even the cherry reds, these keys on this SteelSeries M800 are much quieter. Again, that's another thing I will cover a bit more in the written reviews. I'll go in a bit more depth about the keys and how SteelSeries designed them and what they are designed to be used for. This is going to get my must-have award. I mean, it's a great keyboard. It is definitely worth it. Typing, gaming, everything was a breeze on it. And I really just want to thank SteelSeries for sending this in for review. Again, as mentioned, please do make sure to check out the written review on enistech.com so you guys can get the full review of the keyboard. I'll go in a bit more detail about all the different aspects of the M800 as this video is running on. As always, thank you guys for watching, and please stay tuned in the future for more content.